Hello there guys. Today I have a quick review for you of one of the kits which I bought in a bundle recently, all second hand, and as you can see I've got a bit of a World War I/interwar theme going on here. I find this period really interesting because we get all kinds of designs and prototypes and so on. And in fact I do have a couple of World War I subjects in my stash. I've got a Whippet and a Mark V, which I do keep intending to get around to. Anyway, as you can see, this is the Vickers Medium Tank Mark I by Hobby Boss, and of course in 1/35th scale. We'll have a quick look at the kit in a minute, but first of all let's look at some of the history of this tank. The Vickers Mark I is a British tank, of course. It was built in 1924, and it has a few features which are quite different from tanks of the time, and that we'd perhaps recognise more in modern tanks. If we compare the Mark I to the Vickers I from just 3 years earlier, which I've also built, this Mark I has a fully rotating turret. It has low track runs rather than the very high runs that we see on almost all tanks before that, or almost all British tanks before that, should I say. And we also have a dedicated loader and gunner, which means the tank commander is freed up, and apparently that was quite unusual for the time. Total crew is 5 people. The Mark I's main gun was the quick-firing 3-pounder, and there were also 4 mountings for Hotchkiss machine guns in the turret. Armour is 6.52mm, which isn't a lot, and in common with other tanks of the era, this is of a riveted construction. There were several versions of the Vickers Medium. About 30 were built of this Mark I, followed by a Mark 1A which had a variety of smaller upgrades, and then the Mark 1A Star, which changed the turret and replaced the Hotchkiss machine guns with a Vickers machine gun. There were also close support versions of this medium tank equipped with a 15-pound mortar. This version I have here is the only version of the Mark I that Hobby Boss produce, and I believe it's the only 1/35th scale version available in styrene, although I think there are a couple of resin kits of other versions. There was also a Vickers Medium Mark II, which had the same chassis and suspension as this Mark I, but upgraded the superstructure, the suspension, and the crew protection. And Hobby Boss do produce several different versions of this. Both the Mark I and the Mark II had been withdrawn from service by 1939. The Mark I's never fired a shot in anger, while the Mark II's saw some limited combat in India in 1935. Anyway, let's have a look inside the box. And let's start with the instructions, in fact. Do you like my new cutting mat, by the way? Nice and clean for now. Sprue map there on the inside. And then we've got building up the bogies for the suspension for the wheels in the first part. 5 of those on each side. And we've got those sort of quite characteristic sloping mud guards, I guess you'd call them. Still building up the suspension in the next step, on the next page. I think mainly because we don't actually have that many pieces to add in each step, so the instructions are a bit stretched out. And then in step 3, onto the upper hull here, this is upside down, so the largely single piece hull is the top and the sides, and then the bottom goes onto that. And then some hatches, of course, and so on. That's quite a nice way of doing that because it means that any gaps that you have, if there's not a great fit, for example, occur on the bottom, not on the top. And then what have we got here? Step 4, some grab handles and a couple of panels and hatches and so on. Moving down there, putting the drive sprockets on, and then putting those sponsons on there in step 5. A few details at the bottom of that page. Very little being added on this page, although we do have some photo etch details up there in step 6. Step 7 is the fenders with the exhausts. And very discreetly there in step 7 as well, we have the tracks being added. It's not clear from that instruction whether they are working tracks and you just click them together, or whether you have to glue them together. Over the page, step 8 is some attachment points for the fenders. And judging by the bend instruction, I'm going to guess that they are photo etch. Step 9, we build up the main gun and the turret. Although again, the turret is largely a single piece. And then the final step is to put everything together. And we have some photo etched mud guards at the front there. So let's have a look in the box, and we'll start with the photo etch. All of it looks to be a reasonably good size, so no tiny sort of pinheads of pieces there. There's those track pieces that I was talking about. It doesn't contain the do not glue icon in the instructions. It just says make 130 of them. I really hope that they will just clip together, otherwise that will be a bit of a pain. Individual links for all those curves will be annoying. 2 sprues of those. And then before we look at these other sprues, I will take them out of the bag, but I think I've just found the colour painting guide at the bottom. So here we go, we've got 2 colour options. First one is green all over. This is described as olive drab on here with no markings on that one. And our other option is green all over with some markings, also described as olive drab. So green or green are our options there. I don't think olive drab is the right colour though. I believe bronze green is the correct sort of 1920s to 1939-ish colour for British tanks. A kind of gloss bronze green, if I remember correctly. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the parts. Here we have that single piece upper hull with all the rivet detail on it. That's going to make construction quite a faster process than we might otherwise expect. Looks to be nice and crispy moulded. The vents on the front there look quite nice. As I say, lots of rivet detail, and then our turret will go on top. Something like that. There you go, it's basically built already, isn't it? Look at that beautiful clean cutting mat. Then we have the sprue here with the drive sprocket components and with various hatches, vents and so on. These are the sides above the of the sponsons. Hotchkiss machine gun. A few of the details on here. A couple of the ball mounts there. So we have 4 mounting points in the turret for machine guns, although often one gun was carried and just moved around. Here we have those quite tiny road wheels, not uncommon for tanks of the time. And then that's the bottom of the tank there. Couple of doors. And that should attach nicely, there we go. Job done. Turret ring. Couple of the hatches and doors here. Everything looks perfectly nice and crisp, although not in focus. And that's it, that's the end of our plastic. Well, there we go guys, that was a very quick look at the Vickers Medium Mark I from Hobby Boss. I do quite like Hobby Boss kits. They're always well priced, and I think they go for some sometimes slightly unusual subjects, and I feel like they have a nice balance between complexity and detail as well. So I'll look forward to building this and to seeing how it turns out. In terms of the paint scheme, I think we are limited to that solid green colour. I don't think there are any options for disruptive camouflage, but I will of course have a look just in case there's some unusual versions. I hope you enjoyed this quick review. I will be back with a build video soon, but until then, thank you very much for watching and have fun modelling.